Hey everybody, I pray this video finds you blessed. So this week I have some curly Narra that I got from that yard sale I talked about in the past couple videos. It's a very, very, very hard wood, but it is beautiful. And I decided that I wanted to make a jewelry box. Now when I first started this jewelry box, I didn't realize exactly how hard the wood would be to drill it out. So it ended up being a 3-tiered jewelry box, well, with a lid, a centerpiece, and then a little secret bottom compartment. But you'll see how I turned that and got that all put together. Now this piece of wood is curly Narra, and it has a lot of beautiful wood grain going on in it, but it made it very chippy. Like it was like so chippy. And I'm assuming that's because of the grain going all different directions. It's not, cutting like a straight grain wood. But it is beautiful, and it's worth the mess. When it's all said and done, it's just, oh my gosh, it was so chippy. A lot chippier than I would say any wood I've really turned before. So right now I'm just trying to get it round. I'm not really concerned about its final shape quite yet, because I'm going to turn the inside and then put it all back together and kind of shape it all together. Right now I'm just putting a tenon on what will be the lid for the project, so that way when I separate it I can still mount the lid and hollow the inside of it out once I'm done with the bulk of the piece, the actual where you're going to put the jewelry. I'm using a real thin parting tool because I wanted the grain to match up as much as possible when the box was completed and put together. You still have to cut in to either the lid or the jewelry box in order to fit the lid into it, but I wanted to make as small a cut as possible. Now this wood is harder than Japanese arithmetic. Let me tell you, it was so hard to drill and it took me forever, and I did sharpen all my Forstner bits before going at this. And because it took so long and I couldn't get far enough down into the piece, I just took what I could get, which was only about maybe 2 inches in. And then that was one of those, design change opportunities. So I decided at this point that either I was going to cut off the bottom and waste all of that, or try to make a 3-part box. I've never done a 3-layered box, which is just a lid, the centerpiece, and then of course a small compartment at the bottom, and it all stack on top of each other. I was not sure, and honestly going into this I really didn't have confidence that I would be able to pull it off and for it to actually look nice and be weighted properly. But yeah, so it was my first time attempting this 3-part box. Now I'm using Brad's abrasive paste and going backwards with 400 grit sandpaper because this lathe doesn't turn in reverse, and that's one thing that when sanding, turning in reverse is so nice, because especially with curly wood, because that grain is kind of going all different directions, that being able to sand in reverse is such a blessing. And so those of you who can do it, don't take it for granted. It's so nice, and so you don't have to go by hand and do all that. But that's what I was doing, using Brad's abrasive paste and then with a 400 grit sandpaper, and just going all of those spots that I can feel that are still kind of sticking up a little bit. I'm parting off the jewelry box centerpiece. I'm going to work on the very bottom and get it hollowed out and set and ready for the centerpiece. Now I can never get that perfect pop. Not that this jewelry box you'd want that perfect wood turners, pop of the lid and stuff, because people who buy this or are going to use this every day, they don't want to struggle. Especially here in Florida, it's so humid that this wood would just move like crazy and probably get stuck closed if I did it too tight. Now, that's not an excuse to say that I just didn't get a good tight fit, because I didn't. But it's honestly not very practical, at least for here in Florida, for that type of fit. Right now I'm just trimming up and finishing the bottom of the middle piece. Of course, with my first try, I took a little bit too much wood off, so I'm just going back and trying to get a better fit so the bottom doesn't slide around too much. Now this is the lid, and I'm just trimming it down to fit inside of the centerpiece. Now I'm just shear scraping with my bowl gouge to just make all three pieces flush together and to fit really nicely together. I sanded all the way to 400 grit and then going back over it the opposite direction and all kinds of directions because, like I said, this is curly wood and I can't run in reverse. So I just had to do a little bit more hand sanding on this piece. Now for the lid, I originally had a plan to inset some beautiful acrylic flowers that was sent to me by a viewer. Thank you, Mandy, so much. But it ended up not working out for this piece, and I decided just to kind of make a simple little handle. Plus the grain in this wood was just so beautiful that it made it easy just to kind of leave it, mostly natural. Now I'm taking the tenon off the very bottom of the jewelry box, just kind of giving myself a little bit of a concave in there, and that's Batcat in the background. He's doing porch patrol. So there it is, all put together and finished. It fits nicely, and the grain all lined up. Once I turned it to get it all lined up, just beautiful, flowed beautiful. I got a new toy in the mail, so I decided this piece would be a great piece to practice out burning on my ORTUR laser. The link for this laser, if you're interested in it, will be in the description below. And this is my first time using it on this particular project. Right now I'm just testing out the distance with the laser GBRL, I think it's called, program, which is a very simple program. It's just understanding the power levels and the distance and how to get it all set up. And right now I have it sitting on a back porch table, which is kind of wobbly, not the best thing to sit it on, but it ended up doing just fine anyway. So yeah, I'm not techie when it comes to this type of equipment, but it was pretty simple. Not simple, but with a little bit of research and understanding what all the controls do and how to do it. Like with anything else, any other machinery, it just kind of went quick. I caught on pretty quickly, which I was very surprised, and was able to burn my logo in, and also the name of the wood and the date that it was made. I really am in love with this laser. Now, I was just going to burn this into the bottom of it, but then I was like, ooh, you know, it's addicting. You want to just like burn things on everything. Like everything's going to get burnt. With this piece, unfortunately, I didn't tighten my hood in the up position, and I didn't tighten it, so it fell in the middle of me engraving a Bible verse around the rim in a circular pattern. So you can see right there, it fell right when it started, and I didn't catch it in time, so it started pushing my lid around. Now, you're not supposed to go reaching your hand under there, I know, and grab things out. You're supposed to stop it first, but I just got whatever and pulled it out. So while I'm relining this up, I also was sent this really awesome Bluetooth speaker to try out in the shop that I was in. I don't have any radio or nothing, so it was really nice to get that speaker sent to me and to try it out. And I can tell you, it does put off some really great sound, and I can hear it over my lathe running. So I'll put the link in the description to that. They're also giving you 10% off, so use the code that's in the description if you like to purchase one for yourself. So after realigning it, it took a little bit, but it actually lined up pretty decent. There's only one little flaw in the Bible verse around the lid, and then I decided, of course, to burn some more stuff. So I burnt across and the very bottom, and then I also burnt across in the very top lid. Now, my battery went dead on my GoPro, so I didn't get to show you burning the cross in the very, very top of the lid, but pretty much the same process, and it's not that hard to do. I'll put a link in the description below for YouTube videos that I watched that was very helpful in getting this all set up, so you can watch them and see if this is something you want to take on, or something you might be interested in doing with your projects. It's really fun, and like I said, you're going to want to burn everything. Thank you all so much for watching my videos. I pray you have a wonderful weekend. Take care, and God bless.